Hey everybody, welcome back to TX3 Productions. I am Nick. Here with me today is my buddy,
The Coon Dog. The Coon Dog Kevin.
the Goon Dog Kevin. How you doing, bro, Sif?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm back to work now. That's
Yeah.
the fun part. Living life day by day, of course. Did a lot of yard work while I was on quarantined. I said on quarantined because I'm a human being. Doing fairly well. Don't have the Rona, so that's good.
Yep.
And like I said, finally back to work. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I think I'm doing better now after what we found out today. Would you like to do a
Today
little
was a good day.
recreation of the phone call that happened?
Ooh, I want to, but I'm currently in a room with a sleeping person, so I have to be mildly quiet.
Okay.
I can do the face. I mean, or something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you call me up and you're like, hey,
I did.
I just found out this thing that's coming out. I'm like so excited. It's coming out in September. And I'm like, Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Yeah, and I
And
mean,
you're
I
like,
think,
that's why we're best friends.
yeah, like I think we screamed
Yes.
for a good couple minutes. The thing is I screamed well prior to that.
Right.
Like I was sitting on the toilet, scrolling through my phone as we always do.
And of course,
And
Melissa, your wife, is probably like, I hope he's okay.
I didn't even think about that.
Right?
The fact that I was in the bathroom. Well, no, it was more like, yes, God, yes, thank you. Oh my God, yes. Like I was like, yeah, like I was ecstatic. And I'm pretty sure she's like, wow, you must really be enjoying that dump he's taking.
Who does number 2 work for?
I mean, that was essentially it. So she actually came from the living room to the bathroom, and I'm like, this is the best news ever. And I show her, and she's like, oh, okay.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
she's
Women
just,
don't get it, okay?
she
Women
don't get it.
of her generation, because we're youngins, and she's just well. I won't go any further. Anyways, no,
Actually,
but being
I
a
have
'90s kid,
I,
my God, like, me and you kind of both talked about this before recording. Like, we weren't even into skating, but like these games like defined our gamingness like right
some
at
of
the
it,
beginning. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, she didn't quite get it.
Like, oh,
So
okay, yeah,
she just got home from work. She was trying to show me other things that she bought and she was excited about. And I'm like,
look at my
not.
stuff.
I literally told her. I was like, nothing you have will surpass my excitedness for this right now.
Right? Everything is dead to me after this.
So, come to find out, she played Tony Hawk Pro Skater as well. Actually, yeah, you know my game, and that she did. I mean, she actually played that for a while. Sorry, I had to cough. It's the Rona.
Oh no, your video's a little off, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going.
What?
What? So, yeah, I think best things about the reveal or whatever is, it's just, I mean, first off, it's just nice to have another skating game, like, and I guess an official skating game, because there's probably tons of wannabes out there, but like this is the OG of skater games, and it's Tony Hawk himself, and we not only that, but it's like it was Tony Hawk before Tony Hawk got commercialized. Like everybody complains about Call of Duty being annualized. Well, Tony Hawk did it before Call of Duty did. So like it was like Tony Hawk 1, 2, 3, Underground 1, 2, 3. What was the one? Proving Grounds 1, 2. Like it was just like okay.
Project 8.
Project 8. Yeah, that was another one. Yeah.
I liked Project 8. American Wasteland.
That was Yeah.
That was another one. American Wasteland 2. Then there was the Tony Hawk Pro Skater I mean, it was basically virtual reality for back then. I mean, if you think about it,
Oh,
it
the
was
the ride.
the
Yep.
board. It
Mm-hmm.
well, they had the board, but you had a board that you would sit in your house and you could like lean back.
Lean back.
It was Guitar Hero for skateboards.
Right.
That's what it
Like
was.
perfumables were such a big thing that they're like, oh, we have to get on that bandwagon, and um, yeah, I can't believe like exactly. It seems weird because especially since we got Pro Skater 5 and just how much of an
Yeah,
absolute shit show that ended up being
I don't even
to
want to talk about.
then
I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't even want to, but like to get this after that, like it's good because Pro Skater could have very well died after Pro Skater 5. So the fact that it's going to be revived and then hopefully that means that the name of Pro Skater will then go back to what it is, and we might even get an updated version. So I think that's the most exciting thing about this.
I do hope it revamps. I do hope it revamps the series.
Mm-hmm.
I purchased Pro Skater 5, and it was just lightning flows around your board. Like I don't even want to talk about it. Uh,
So they didn't
looking,
catch lightning in a bottle.
why are you going with The Witcher? So it was. Don't start with me. My microphone fell. Um, it was not. It wasn't. It wasn't that fun to play that one.
Mm-hmm.
But these really held something near and dear to my heart. One of the things that you and I talked about when we were first talking, I was like, "Well, how much is this going to cost?" I was like, $60,
Yeah,
because
right.
I could see it being $60, 30 and 30. You know what I mean? 30 per
Mm-hmm.
game. It caused me to look up the PlayStation Store to see Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. That game is still at $60.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they were able to revamp the other ones. They're like, hey, let's just get as much money as we can off this and do something right.
Right.
It's like Tony Hawk's son got a hold of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 and said, "This is Dad, you did all this wrong. We need power ups.
Yeah. We did
I can make
lightning and fire and big balls that you have to get out of the half pike.
and I can make a Pro Skater game."
And he gave it to his high school, video game class, and they came up with it over a weekend or something.
Yeah, it was Lil Wayne is a character. Lil
Mm.
Wayne is a playable character, and I have nothing against Lil Wayne or the fact that he skates or the fact that he actually skates fairly well. He's not a
Right.
horrible skater. Um, it was
Do
just
you,
the way
do
they
you
did it.
think that it sold a million copies?
They made a lot of young moolah, baby. That game was so bad. I went ew, ew.
Oh man. So
That was the
wait,
worst one I
what
had.
back in the day, what was your like favorite thing about like Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
I mean, prior to being able to create your own level and maps and whatever, I don't know, just something about playing the game, trying to get that super good score by tying together the right tricks,
Mm-hmm.
or they were always like, "Oh, that's a secret room," or "Hey, we got to collect all the skate letters." There were challenges.
Yeah.
It was like Spyro where you had to collect things, or
Yeah.
it was like Crash where you had to collect things, but it was a sandbox level
Mm-hmm.
that you could kind of roam around and just explore. And I would find little things like you would do a stall on the top of the diving board, and it's called like the high dive, and
Right. Yeah.
you would get like extra bonus for that. Or when they introduced flatland tricks, that was just fun to try and keep a flatland trick going as long as you could.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot explain how many times I had like super good flatland tricks. The challenges were just fun. The
Yeah.
maps were fun. if you wanted nothing to do but something to do for at least an hour to 2 hours, play Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I,
Unlock new characters, boards. There you go. Characters and boards. You just try to get extra people and boards and stuff like that.
right.
Um, we would try to find ways to unlock cheats so we
Right.
could have like moon gravity sometimes.
Yeah.
We would do all kinds of crazy stuff on that. Like there was just a lot of fun things. Like I remember like when it gave you big head mode and you'd run around with
Right.
a gigantic head. Um, they were just fun. And I mean, honestly, I felt that the games I enjoyed every Tony Hawk that came out up until the the DDR version.
Yeah, right. See, yeah, I think my favorite thing were like the arcadiness of it because, combo breaker, things like that. Like that's what
Yeah,
made it
yeah.
really fun. When we started getting to like the more realistic things or even like the underground, like I didn't mind underground, especially since you could get off your board and like explore the world. That was cool,
Mm-hmm.
but like I didn't really like it. I like the pure nature of just doing tricks. That's what you were doing the entire time was just trick after trick after. I like the
Yep.
pure nature of that rather than underground being like, "Hey, let's go on an adventure." It's like we're not freaking Frodo, okay? We're a goddamn skater. We need to be treated like such. And so I like that, and I think my favorite thing is the culture around it,
Mm-hmm.
like the music and just the absolute like skater culture. Like my music taste was 100% altered back in the 90s by these games. I
part of the
started,
trailer part of
yeah,
the trailer was it I mean essentially it even said words English. I speak English sometimes.
spike it.
During the trailer it was they had a flash of like all the bands and songs, the soundtrack that was listed in the old games, and it said they're bringing them back. And the first name I saw on that list was freaking Power Man 5000.
Right,
Like, dude, I became a fan of Power Man 5000 because of that. I found out that Power Man 5000 was Rob Zombie's brother because of that. I
right.
found out about Rob Zombie because of that. I literally 2 years ago went to a Rob Zombie show because I'm still a freaking fan.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
it's like you said. It do I skate today? No. Did I try to skate when I was younger? Yeah, I could do a
Fuck
kick
yeah,
flip
I
and an
did.
ollie. I could do a kick flip and an ollie, and that was about it. I could ride the
Yeah,
bowl. I could ride the bowl, but I would not say I was like a hardcore dedicated skater. But I
definitely
I
not.
knew how to I knew how to do the things.
I knew how to do the things
Uh,
until
I
that
I
goddamn rock, and you're like,
or whenever the board gets away and smacked you in the shin.
oh.
Uh, I tried a board slide once. Yeah, racked myself instantly.
Mm,
But the thing is like I learned, like I like watching X Games now. Like
mm-hmm.
I support X Games, not just for skateboarding, but I like the snowboarding events.
True, true.
Um, I root him on. I know what the tricks are, so I'm like, yeah, he's doing a 540 McTwist double nipple twister. Like that's
He's
not.
doing a purple nipple.
I wish that was true. My phone just warned me and says, "Hey, you have 10%." I'm like, well,
You
deal with
got
it.
10%.
Um, but you're right. Like the culture around that, even how I dressed, man. I wore skater shoes. I
Yeah,
had,
yeah.
you know,
That's when I first got into airwalk, which is like the poor man's skater shoes, but I freaking loved them.
DC's for life, G.
Yo.
DC's for life.
See, I didn't
No,
have $60 to put on each shoe, so I was like,
yeah.
nah. So I went
Now,
with freaking airwalks, which you can get from Priceless.
if I remember correctly, when
Mm.
you would get the Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, I believe there was like a thing like call this number or something for like CCS magazine. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
CCS magazine. CCS.
Do you remember?
It was
Do you remember Zoomies?
yes. CCS was before Zoomies was like big.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
Okay.
like if you lived in like a rural area, like rural, like out in Indiana, we would look through. It was like a magazine that you would get for free, and it would have like a bunch of skateboards, and it would have all the prices listed, and that was like how we got it. Now, when I moved to Idaho, and I went to the mall, well, I guess there was a Zoomies in the mall in
Yes.
Indiana,
Yes.
but not like there was here. But yeah, I mean, even still, my clothing, my music,
Mm.
my friends, um, all changed. You said like you didn't like the fact that you could get off the board, but as a skater, as a true
I didn't
skater,
prefer it. You know what I mean? Like I said,
oh yeah, no,
it was just more the pure nature. I liked it just fine, but it's like if I had the choice between the two, I'd be like, let me just be on the board the whole time. You know?
see, I liked it. I liked it in the aspect that you could like go up to a new spot, find somewhere higher, and drop in, and like
Yeah.
that's how you would find like hidden bowls or hidden like rails
Yeah.
and ramps. And I enjoyed that. I like the fact that it's like, hey, you know, I can't reach that. Or my favorite thing was is if there was a mission objective. I'm all using my hands looking at them. If there was a mission objective, yeah, that's what I'm doing over here. I'm not good with the camera thing. If there was a mission objective that I couldn't reach, I would have to climb up to another area, jump down this thing, grind on a rail, then reach over the gap just to
Mm.
get that thing. And it was just like, I freaking did that.
No, 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 no. I definitely get that. Like it's like I said, I think it is just the pure nature of just like let me just be
Yeah.
on my board. Let me try to get the highest score. You know, I think that's what I liked about it the most. I think what I'm looking forward to the most for the new one is just kind of reliving that. I mean, that might be like a cop out answer, but it's like I just can't wait to kind of
No.
relive it.
Yeah.
And like I mean, it might be super cliche, especially coming from like a couple of 30-year-olds, but it's like
Oh, right.
they don't make video games like they used to. So like when the Insane trilogy came out, like it's just different, you know?
Dude, not just the Insane Trilogy. For me, it was the Reignited
Oh
series.
yeah. Yeah.
So we actually talked about this before. It's like playing those as a kid, like I did certain things and only got so far on the game. I still completed it, but I didn't like complete it.
Mhm.
And when I went back to Spyro now, like I'm running through levels like a friggin' beast, getting all the diamonds, all the gems, all the people, and I'm not having to go back. I'm doing it as I go through because
Right.
I'm older and I guess I can conceptualize the game better. And by being able to conceptualize the game a little bit better, um, I feel like I've gotten better at the game. So I'm actually curious to see, am I better at Tony Hawk now than I was
Mm.
when I was 10,
Yeah.
right? Um, but again, that's why like you said, you're excited to revisit that. I am so excited. I get this like little in my gut. I'm like, I cannot wait to have to unlock a level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, like fighting games nowadays, they just have all their freaking characters unlocked, and I'm just like, what's the point of even playing this game?
Yeah, all the skaters would be unlocked. Yeah,
Right?
you know, or you could just go wherever you want. These were multi-leveled sandbox areas, and it was just like the accomplishment. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like I don't know. I
So favorite map. Let's go since we're talking about different locations.
ouch,
Mm.
ouch. I really enjoyed the airport. The
Ooh.
school the school is just classic
Mm-hmm.
in general. In general, I mean everybody goes, oh, school. Um,
Where's like the downtown area where it had that like you were on like that green roof and like coming up like it's like the subway roof and then you could jump off of that. Where was that one?
that was the school.
That was the school. Okay, so yeah, school
Yeah,
for me then.
so those were the awnings. Those were the awnings, and the
Gotcha.
school also had the big bowls in it and everything. The large stairs. The leap of faith was on the school level, and that's
Mm,
where like you first take off, and it's like there's some stairs to the right, and then a big drop to the left of that, and then if you went to the right, there was a little like street skating enclosure.
mm-hmm.
The school was very iconic. I liked Rio de Janeiro. Um,
Oh
I
gosh.
I enjoyed the Rio de Janeiro map. Um, the dam. I liked the dam because it
Closer.
was like all the way downhill. I enjoyed that, but not. I wouldn't say that was my favorite. It's really hard to say because I mean, for Christ's sake, out of all the Tony Hawk games and all the levels that we've played, I mean, I could end up naming a level that was probably on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Like,
That's true.
I know, it's either Chicago or New York was one of them.
Chicago.
Wasn't it like Chicago or New York? See, yeah, exactly my
Yeah,
point.
I'm pretty bad with it too.
There was also like three different warehouses
Yeah, I know,
throughout the
right?
series. There was one on the first one. I think there was one on the second one. There was one on the third. The levels, I can tell you more so the levels I didn't like.
Mm.
The bull pit, where you go to Mexico or wherever, or Spain,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're,
yeah.
come on, you're riding through dirt
Come
and
on.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's just, come on. It's later on in the game series, probably my favorite map would be the carnival, like the one that's in Louisiana.
Carnival.
That one was kind of fun.
Ooh.
That one was kind of fun. Honestly,
Yeah.
Underground 1 and 2 had some pretty solid levels. Project 8 had some really, I actually think Project 8 might have had some of the best levels just because they were more fluid. Oh no, Skatopia.
No.
Skatopia might actually be my favorite map out of all of them. And I think that was on Underground 2. Um,
Well, it's
yeah, Skate.
Utopia for skates.
It was 2 years. Um, I also liked Underground in the aspect that like when you would do things, weird crap would happen.
Mm.
Like if you grinded around the map and then down this rail and hit the trash can, Sasquatch would pop out.
Oh, right. Yeah, some random
So
ass.
so I enjoyed that because it was campy and arcadey. But then, like I said, it just, I don't know. I guess Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 isn't necessarily fully off of that. They remove flatland tricks, which I just think is absolutely atrocious. That makes me want to vomit.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, the lightning around the board threw me off too. But really, I mean, even the old Tony Hawks had some weird campy crap in it that was like that, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was just different. It just, my flavor was better than, yeah. I call it flavor because it's all about taste.
Yeah. As you drink. Product placement. Now, like, I'm super excited about this. I think we both agreed we're going to be getting the deluxe edition, which is still only $49.99 for 2 games. So that's $25, $25. It's a steal. Like, it's a freaking steal at that point. So I think,
I would honestly pay $40 for one of those games.
right. Mm.
I mean, honestly, I mean, if you're going to charge me $60 for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, I'm going to pay 40 for something I actually enjoy.
Right.
I would even be willing to say this. If they had a bundle of like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 through 4, before they made the switch to like the undergrounds,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'd be willing to pay like $120 for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
think that'd be a good price. Give me all the DLC crap included.
Mm-hmm.
Give me anything bonus you got. Um, I would really like to see them progress this into possibly getting a new Tony Hawk Pro Skater game that borderlines skate.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean,
Um,
especially with Skate, like, I liked it for sure, but I think it was more that, like, it was just way more in depth. Kind of like how I guess a good example would be like back in the day when like Madden was a lot more just like playing football, whereas the longer Madden went on, now it was they're more interested in it being a simulation. You know what I mean? So that's what Skate started becoming, at least in my eyes. It still had its arcadey moments, but I did feel like it was a lot more like they were trying to simulate what it actually felt like. And I'm like, I'm alright, I'm alright.
Hollow Meat contradicts that. Hollow Meat was where you could literally find the craziest hill, and then you would tap all your triggers at the same time, and your body would fly off the board, and you would just pummel down the hill and try to break every bone in your body.
Oh right, yeah.
Those were fun. Those were fun. But here's why I like Skate. Not necessarily for. I guess I did like the in depthness. Like you could literally go to a park, see like a couple stairs, a couple rails, and create a line, create a
Mm-hmm.
line of tricks, and then you could set up a camera and record you doing your line. Like, hey, look at this really
That's
cool
right.
trick line I've made. Now that was really fun, but I think the best feature of Skate was the thumbsticks. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
Nothing against Tony Hawk. I'm absolutely 100% thrilled to go back to button mashing tricks, right?
Right.
Like I don't mind that at all. However, I even said this back then when Skate came out. I was like, oh, you know what's next? A Tony Hawk Skate game. Yeah, it never freaking came.
Yeah, right.
And it let me down, Bruce. Um and I was really bummed out by it. I was really, really bummed out. I would love to see that concept resurface. I would love to see a Skate Tony Hawk collage.
Cool.
Um, because even in Skate, you could talk to like Danny Way, Rob Dyrdek, and like you could talk to professional skateboarders. So it's almost like, you know, like half the skateboarders that were in Tony Hawk,
Right.
or the skateboarders in Tony Hawk were like, hey, you can't be in Skate, and the skateboarders in Skate were like, hey, you can't be in Tony Hawk. So like,
Right.
it's the Skate divide. You know what I
East
mean?
versus West. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. Like, who's better, the Dogtown Boys or the Cattown Boys? I don't know if there's a Cattown Boys, but we're
Right.
gonna say there's a Cattown Boys,
All right.
Cattown
Let's
Girls.
pause for a second here.
No.
Where does it say how long I've been recording? Holy shit! Yeah, this went way longer than I thought. Alrighty, man. I'm super excited. Can't wait for Pro Skater. You guys let us know. What do you guys think about the whole situation? Were you big in the '90s? Are you a '90s kid, or are you like a little, little 12-year-old?
Okay. Time out.
Okay.
I gotta say this because you said it twice. 90s. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 came out in 1999.
Yeah. I mean,
That's not.
it's extremely '90s.
It's
Like that.
it's extremely thousands.
No, the game itself is extremely '90s. Like
Oh, I
the
know.
vibe
I
of it
know.
is extremely '90s. Smartass. Anyways,
Late 90s,
speaking of smartass,
early thousands.
um,
Product placement.
so I got a surprise for you, Kevin. I didn't tell you we were going to talk about this.
Are you gonna
Um,
pan the camera down?
just a little. Anyways, but no, I have a little surprise for you. Something I want to talk about, and it just so happened that you were the person that I recorded with today, rather than my normal Nate. Send your best wishes to him. There's some shit going on with them.
Yeah.
Um,
Just
so,
keep them in your hearts.
uh, so yesterday, yeah, of the time of this recording, yesterday was Zoe Ann's 5th birthday.
Yes.
So that means that TX3 Productions is officially also 5 years old.
Yes, it is.
So, which obviously you could argue about what was the actual day we uploaded our first video, but I remember in the hospital when Zoe Ann had to go to the NICU, and we're planning episode 1 of Idaho Couch Potatoes, which is obviously still going on to this day. If we're on episode like what, 8,000 or something?
Technically, it's just changed name, titles, people,
Yep. Over
food.
and over and over and over again.
This is where you got to insert the "I like pickles" cut.
Oh God, right? Inside joke for
Yeah,
you know.
way classic.
But hey, it's been 5 years.
Yeah,
We're back together. We're back again. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? But yeah, I just thought it was weird. I thought it was like, serendipitous that it's 5 years and what happens? Tony Pro Skater comes out. I'm like, hey, who would like to do a video about this? Kevin, it's like we have to say something. We have to say something about, hey, TX3 Productions, we've been around for 5 years. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it is weird. I mean, it's been 5 years. It's just a massive growth. The amount of things that the company's gone through, and the amount of things that will continue to go through is going to be even more impressive. You're half a decade,
Yeah,
to the company, half a decade. I think the biggest thing to take away from it is we've been doing it for 5 years, but we've really been doing it for 30.
yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We love video games. We're not your expert, hardcore, extreme, competitive gamers. We're two dudes who game.
And a couch.
Two dudes sitting. What is it? Two dudes 5 feet apart because they're not gay. Oh, two dudes chilling in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Gay.
That's what it is.
We had to bring up Vine. Oh man,
Um,
no,
again,
I
we're
think
older
it's
than Vine.
yeah, right. We are officially older than Vine. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
Um, no, I thought it's words and stuff, right?
There, I
Um,
told you English is hard.
English is very hard. I mean, obviously, for anybody who has been with us for a while, you probably know the tale as old as time, which is that I found out I was going to have a baby, and I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? You know, let me create. That was kind of the overall, just let me create. And the idea was always, I wanna have a team. I wanna have a conversation, And
Mhm.
it's like the relationship that me and you had on and off camera was really what defined Thread X3 Productions. So even though like you did your own thing for a little while, like it was always there. Like when Nate first joined us, um, when Nate first joined us, you were on maternity leave, so you're still with us. You were doing your own thing, but the relationship me and Nate had was like 100% because it's like okay, like that dynamic that me and you had. So it's like without that dynamic, I don't know if me and Nate would have happened. And if me and Nate would have wanted to happen, we wouldn't still be there. And then therefore now it's full circle. You're back, and we got a freaking awesome team. Crystal, if you're watching this because you might be editing it and putting in the extra touches, thank you, thank you. You're pretty awesome. And Nate, he's freaking awesome. He's really cool. We all get along. We got on to Call of Duty together a couple of times. We were kind of seeing how the gears were turning and everything. And I'm just gonna keep going, even though Kevin has left the call. I'm gonna pretend like everything's okay. But yeah, I mean, it's been one ride. It's been a long ride, and it's been crazy. But like, like I'm so glad that we've gotten to the point where it's like now I can say we're 5 years old. It's weird to say that, you know, and yeah, I mean, for anybody out there, it's like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. I really do feel like there's plenty of examples out there. It's like, oh, I've been doing this for 9 months, 100,000 subscribers or something like that, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job now and do it. And it's like, if you want to use that as an example, you're almost setting yourself up for failure, because it's like you really have to put yourself into a situation where it's like, I might not really get into this for a while. And I think Thread X3 Productions is probably a really good example. If you go back through our history, I don't really delete stuff. So you could go back to like when we had like green screen and some crazy stuff, and it's like it was the
We
Deadly
had to
Ultimate Crouch still.
rearrange my entire living room just to set up for our first episode.
Yeah.
It took us
It's
what, 2 hours,
yeah.
3 hours to set up.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Apologize about the drop off. My phone died.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We're
Um
back.
but yeah, we've changed. We've done different things. I mean, even if you look, we just stopped doing noob because it's like, hey, we're looking for something new. So I mean, like, my advice to anybody who wants to do YouTube: don't do it expecting to be famous overnight. It's not going to happen unless you're willing to put in the effort. Right now we're sitting at 476, and I could not be happier.
My
Subs, by the way,
my son
476.
my son Dexton watches a, a YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in support of creators on YouTube. Um, this YouTube creator is a child. He is a very extremely rich child because of YouTube,
Are you talking about Ray?
and he sells toys.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
honestly, these toys are complete crap.
Right, yeah.
Honestly, have you bought any of them?
No, but I've just looked at them and I'm like,
Some of them are neat because they're very educational, but like seriously, they're like expensive for what they are. And my son's like enamored with this guy, like just loves this kid. And my son says, I want to be a YouTuber just like him, you know? And even though I backed off the YouTube game, I just backed off the YouTube game. And I told him, I was like, well, if you want, we can, because we're getting a PC.
Right.
That if you want, we'll start putting together some content. I don't know what he wants to do, but Dexton wants to be a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I told him, like, I had to sit him down because this kid gets his hopes up with things. And I had to tell him, like, hey, I know you want to be famous like Ryan and you want what that kid has. We'll try.
Yeah.
We'll try, but I can't guarantee anything. And I don't want to see his heartache.
Yeah.
When we're 2 months down the road and he's not getting the views he wants.
Yeah.
That's the other part. I don't know if I want to be putting my kid on the internet like that.
Right. Well, that's good. That just means that you don't want to exploit him.
I don't. I also very much fear, which I mean, maybe it's irrational. I mean, ask the fans what they think. We'll ask them. What do you, if you guys think I'm being irrational, let us know. But I worry about predators trolling channels like that.
Oh yeah, especially with that shit that went on last year.
So I really, really worry about a predator, patrolling the channel, finding my son, hacking our Ring doorbell.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like finding our IP address. The next thing I know, my kid's missing. Like I know I know I'm reaching, right? But I don't have millions of dollars for security, and I don't have millions of dollars for high grade recording equipment like that kid has. And we'll try.
Yeah.
We'll try.
This went super dark really fast. I always count on you.
Well, no, I'm just you were talking about how if you're going to be a YouTuber, just don't.
Well, yeah, I get how you got there,
but it's just a thought.
Just a thought, kidnapping and it's the normal.
I'm just saying,
the normal people.
My kid wants to be a YouTuber, and I'm like, nah, you can't be one because you're going to get kidnapped. I could get kidnapped. Nobody's going to kidnap this.
Come on. That's
the show grew in 5 years, and you know what else grew? My mustache.
Mine's coming in. Watch. See, guys? See it?
That's barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah. I better get that off then. All right. This video has meandered long enough, and you have seen too much of me already. So thank you guys for joining us, for us bullshitting about Pro Skater. Hype level 100 for sure. Let us know what you guys think. And hey, here's to 5 more years, as cheesy as that
sounds. 20 years.
Yeah, we'll make it a quarter century.
We'll have an orgy of centuries.
All right, so thank you so much for joining us for this video of Thread X3 Productions. I was Nick.
I was Kevin.
And okay, bye.